Howdy, this is Kyle with Conserve Irrigation. Here to talk a little bit today about check valves and water hammer and the importance of check valves in your sprinkler system. So check valves go in the base of a head. They can be a screw-on attachment or they can be already pre-installed in your head. All of our heads have check valves in every single one of them just because it's very important to the efficiency of systems, and I'll explain a little bit why. So as you can see kind of in this graphic, a sloped system, and water will build up in this piping, and every time that it runs, potentially the water is draining out of that lowest head in the system just from gravity, right? So what a check valve does is just containing that water. So it's stopping the water here so that the piping up here is all, the water stays in the piping rather than draining every single time your system runs. So one way to check whether you have check valves or not is to run your system, turn it off, and then go to the lowest head on that zone and see if the water drains out. So some zones are relatively flat, usually in the backyard around here. It's usually in the front yard is what we have to worry about, and down by the curb, because we want the water to drain away from our house, but it does create this problem as well. So you can turn on one of those front zones, turn it off, go down to the lowest head, and just see if water is continuing to drain out. You'll see it kind of just bubbling out of the nozzle on that head. So if a 5-zone system cycle and soaks 3 times each cycle, that system can waste 200 gallons of water every time that system runs, just through low head drainage waste. And obviously our systems run multiple times a week, so that adds up dramatically. The other really beneficial thing about check valves is it doesn't allow the piping to fill with air, right? And when the piping is filled with air, it creates a water hammer effect. So because when the valve opens upstream, instead of having air all through here that has to be pushed out, it's water, it's filled, it's contained, so the force is reduced and not pressurized, and what this does is it leads to wear and tear on your system, on the piping, on the heads, on the valve itself. So the water hammer effect, the difference is if it's air, it's about 400 psi, pounds per square inch of force going throughout the system. If it's water, it's about 50. So it's a dramatic difference just because water is far denser than air and resists that pressure. So what we like to say is the system will age in dog years if it is filled with air. It will deteriorate a lot quicker than if it did just have this little check valve in it at every head that contains the water, and will not only save you water, it'll also save your system in the long term. So that's why we put it on every single head that we install. Thanks. Have a great day.